Well, hey everyone. Welcome to November. I mean, what? So today I'm doing our tutorial all by myself. I don't like to always do stuff by myself, but sometimes it's hard to schedule stuff. And I actually had planned kind of a little bit of a coaching session during this recipe month. So that's what we're going to do because I talk about this month the concept of time. And so my message today is all about in New England where I live. I mean, the colors this year have been incredible when it comes to the fall and the foliage, and it's really been unbelievable. And every day I go out there and I'm like, I'm afraid it's gonna be over. And I go out and I look at the trees and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, they're still there." And, a few weeks ago, I had to fly to Florida, a lot of you know, because my mom was sick and she was in the hospital. And when we took off from Connecticut, I was just blown away by the colors. And then I went to Florida and there were no beautiful colors. And then when I flew back, I'm like, "Oh, they're still there. They're still there," because I know at any moment the leaves are gonna fall off and it's gonna very, very quickly be winter. And the passing of these seasons, it just always reminds me of how fast time flies, one way or the other. We all are given the same amount of time. And I want to be present in the moment. I want to be aware of everything that's happening, even when it's not the stuff I want to be happening. And I just feel like sometimes every time we have these seasons and these times of change, that it just allows us to step back and remember what we're grateful for. And when winter is here, we're going to be missing those leaves. And did we really enjoy them? Did we really allow them to soak in to us? And I think about that with my kids as Grace is going into her final year of high school. So just especially as we think about fall recipes, it's just this time of transition. Savor the smells, the colors, the energy of the season. Don't just keep looking for the next thing or focusing on the past. And we know that it's going to get crazy. The holidays always do. So this is a moment right now. Yes, Thanksgiving is coming up, but that we can really savor this time. We have, 2 more months before the end of the year. What do you want to say you have done and finished and feel like you can start 2023 off with, a kind of a start that makes you feel like, you're ready. So let's think about that. And one of the things that we're going to talk about is a French term, a French culinary term. So I'm gonna speed through the recipes when we get there because I want to talk about this concept called, and Sandrine and Isabel are two Frenchies that are members here. I love these ladies, and I'm gonna totally butcher this name. So I actually went to my computer to listen to it on the Google. So I'm going to play the Google for this term. All right, are we ready?
Mise en place.
I don't know if you could hear that. I'm going to play it again.
Mise en place.
Mise en place. Let me do it again.
Mise en place.
Mise en place. Okay, it's M-I-S-E. The second word is E-N. And the third word is Place. It actually is a French culinary phrase that means putting in place or gather. It refers to this concept that restaurants typically do, but we don't always put it into our own lives. So as we're talking about recipes, I thought this was a good thing to talk about for today. So it requires setup before cooking. And when you're in a restaurant and I worked in restaurants like my whole, growing up when I was a teenager into being a teacher, and my second and third job was always in restaurants. And you get everything set up so that dinner, lunch, the rush, all of that is just systematic. And it's amazing how well a kitchen can run when you have
Mise en place.
mise en place. And I think about this in two ways. So it is all of the setup that is required for cooking, and it's often used in these professional kitchens, right? Your pans are prepared, your mixing bowls, you chop the things, all of that. We used to have people that would come into the restaurant just for
Mise en place.
mise en place, just for that one reason, and then they would leave before actually even the dinner rush came. That they would be the prep team. And so, yes, it makes meal prep easier. So, we're going to talk about this in two ways. One, as recipes come up. And I do this all the time. I always get every single one of my ingredients out first, and I chop everything. And then the cooking is like the fastest, easiest part. And because otherwise, like, people that struggle with cooking, and I think where some people feel like recipes are overwhelming, it's like you're sauteing the onions and you still haven't like cut up the chicken to be able to put it in, and now the onions are burnt, or you haven't done the garlic and the garlic is burnt, and anyway, it's just everything gets messy. But if you are preparing before, you are going to be able to make your meals so quickly and effortlessly. And so now let's take that into life. Ready? Life with
mise en place,
mise en place. Okay, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that yet. Well, when we think about everything in its place and preparing before the craziness of a day, it's everything that I've been talking to you guys about. Being able to really appreciate this season, to be able to appreciate the leaves and all of that, is because I don't want to be running around like crazy lady where I'm always behind the eight ball. I'm late for meetings, I'm not prepared, or I'm just like throwing in laundry and it's all piling up. When you have
mise en place,
and you're doing that every single day, you have the tools out that are that makes life easier to do the things. So just like you have all the ingredients out and you're ready to cook, what are the things that you have to put in place so that your day can run smoother, so that you're not feeling like time is controlling you, that you're behind the eight ball? So for me, one of the things that I do is I always put out, and I am sure you've heard this before, but I'm telling you, if you're not doing it, then I'm gonna really encourage you to do it. Decision fatigue is a real thing. The more decisions we have to make, the less and less our willpower actually is part of us. Our willpower drains. And so I literally take my workout clothes and I take them out. So I wake up and I go right into my closet. I put on my workout clothes. And everything I need in the morning for my coffee, with my collagen, with my morning time, I lay out all of it at night. So when I come down, I literally can be out of bed, brush my teeth, dressed to work out. Now, I don't work out right away. I don't work out for about an hour, hour and a half after I wake up, but I have everything ready so that when the hubbub starts, my morning time, the kids wake up, working out, showering, getting ready for the day, blah, 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 everything is ready. So it's like a restaurant that's hustling and bustling, but you can make those meals so fast because you have had.
mise en place,
So, my question for you, what are the 3 things that you can do to have
mise en place,
the night before so that in the morning you are ready for the rush? Got it? That is huge. And so I want you to think about it in 2 ways. 1, for cooking all of these amazing meals that we're going to talk about, and 2, for being able to really appreciate the season and be able to appreciate the time, because we cannot get more of it, and be able to take control of it. Oh, look at me. My phone is ringing. This is what happens when I don't turn off my distractions. All right, so let's take a look. I love this. We have clients and we have coaches that have contributed this month. I love when we have clients contribute, because what it tells me is you get it. You are applying previously learned information to novel situations, which means you understand our approach at a deep level. Because when you can apply it to something new, like a recipe that you tweak, you are solidified. It doesn't mean you don't still need our membership. It doesn't mean you still don't need, the ability to be held accountable, because the chaos of life will throw all of us off. But when people say, I know, I just don't do, I don't always believe them. All of these people that have been able to put in these recipes, I know they know. So we have a slow cooker beef stew. Michelle S. put this together. Michelle S. Loves herself her slow cooker. And so I love this because I think there's nothing better than starting a meal in the morning and letting it just simmer and smell throughout the day. That to me is fall and winter. Shrimp and pistachios over ramen from Mindy. PFC breakfast tacos. Jen has just done so many things. If you've seen Jen's tortillas, and her oatmeal bread. I mean, one of Jen's real issues with even signing on to work with us was around the fact that she's a baker and she loves to cook. And now she has taken her passion for cooking and understanding PFC into a whole new level. Megan put in a slow cooker as well, which I think is incredible because again, I love having slow cooker meals. Air fryer Brussels with cod. Now, I now have an air fryer attachment to my Instapot, which has been game changing because I didn't want to have another appliance. And every month we are now going to add a new protein shake. So Deb is literally our protein shake guru, and she is always coming up with a new one. And so we thought that a great way to be able to share these with you is to add them into our recipes. So now we're adding a new protein shake every single month. So candy apple is fall if I know fall, right? All right, garlic herb turkey cutlets by Coach Julie, turkey sausage and potato soup, shrimp fried rice by Coach Stacy. Jen again is at it with a falafel, sweet potato broccoli chicken bake, and that's with Coach Michelle S as well. And then Coach Beth has salmon and potatoes. I mean, so many women that we talk to, they're like, my husband is a meat and potatoes kind of guy. And so we're like, no problem. But how about, we have plenty of meat and potato recipes, but how about salmon and potatoes, right? Nice little tweak. We always have our grocery list and then our pantry items. And for those of you starting out, you might be looking at this and be like, my gosh, I don't have all this stuff. But I promise, like, as you go and make the different recipes, you're just going to add this to your pantry. Do not feel like you have to go out and buy all the things like right away, right? And we set these recipes up so that if you really wanted this to be your plan for the month, I mean, you have the grocery list, you have everything right there. I often do like a pick and choose kind of thing because there's always so many older recipes that I love as well. So we have beef stew here. And when we think about the potatoes, these are just, your regular kind of white potatoes. But if you wanted to put this in with like sweet potatoes and make it for the 4 weeks to wellness, you could totally do that. Celery. I want to just say, whenever you're doing celery, you really should do organic. The amount of garbage that can be in celery is like super toxic. So just think about that. Love all of this in here where it's a 7-hour kind of a thing. So let's go. Or actually, it's 8 hours because then you add the mushrooms at the end because mushrooms at the end are better in a stew because they don't need a lot of time. So brown rice ramen, you guys, that has been one of the best, that thin stackers and aloha bars, I feel like have been some of our best discoveries over the years. You can be doing nutritional yeast instead of Parmesan, and you have a really great meal here. Brown rice ramen is so easy. It's so easy to portion. My kids love it. You should never have the regular ramen in there. Jen's PFC tacos, and here you go, you guys. Now, this is her tortilla recipe. That's amazing. It's in another recipe. You can search for it in the recipe portal, but now she's adding some spinach to it. So we're actually adding some more nutrients right to the tortilla itself. Other than that, you guys, we've got eggs, we've got salt and pepper. It is so simple. Okay. All right. So now we have the slow cooker fiesta shredded chicken tacos. I mean, when you do a slow cooker or even the Instapot with chicken, it is so amazing when it comes to how tender it is. Now, I can see where people would feel like, okay, look, there's a lot of different things going on here. This is not that hard. You're just going to throw the chicken in with your taco seasoning mix right into your slow cooker. And then, I mean, think about this. Making the rice is super easy, but adding cilantro, adding lime, and I actually like to make it sometimes with chicken broth because it just gives a whole nother level of flavor. Creamy coleslaw. This is actually like you can put this on salads. I love it so much. I would use an avocado mayo for this. And I just find it to be incredible, especially the avocado with the avocado oil with the lime. It is good. Now there's maple syrup in here, so it's a super tiny amount, you guys. I don't freak out about it at all when it comes to this. We're going to say that, it's up to you to do that, but it's not going to derail you. So don't stress. And if you are on the first 2 weeks of the 4 weeks to wellness, make this a big taco salad. I think that would be amazing. Okay. The air fryer with Brussels sprouts and kale. You guys, this is totally great for the first 2 weeks. So go for this. You have whitefish. I do the Wild Alaskan Fish Company, and I have salmon and whitefish delivered to me once a month. My bag of Brussels sprouts, I just have always have a big bag of Brussels sprouts from Costco. And then I love that you're getting the pistachios. My pistachios are my grandfather's favorite nut. So you add that in there, you get your fat in there. Oh, and it gives that nice little bit of texture too. Okay, here's your candy apple protein shake. I love it. Look at that. You have a green apple. You have a little bit of a caramel or maple extract. What a difference. And then almond butter. It is literally like drinking a candy apple. I mean, your kids are going to love this. So, so, so good. All right. So turkey cutlets. You can do this with chicken cutlets too, but you get turkey cutlets. Sometimes I find it harder to get turkey cutlets. And so just think about that in terms of an alternative. I love that. And look at that. I mean, we have thyme, rosemary, Dijon mustard, apple cider vinegar. All of these pieces really makes it super, super yummy. And now you can just totally, this is an amazing protein. You have a fat here and you only have, and really don't have your carbs. So add whatever carbs you want to add to that, depending on what your choices are. If you're going to be like super green meal, like first 2 weeks of 4 weeks to wellness, or if you're, doing denser carbs, whatever it is. Turkey sausage and potato soup, you guys, so good. I think it is like incredible. Now, the only reason why it says not compliant is because of the red potatoes. Again, this is still super clean, so I don't want you to think of this as like a massive deviation from that. And you could always do your sweet potatoes if you prefer to, but if you want to try this and you're on the second half of the 4 weeks to wellness, go for it. The other option is take out the potatoes and make a really nice big salad on it, and you can totally use it for that first 2 weeks. Shrimp fried rice. Coach Stacy makes some incredible meals, and I mean, really like Stacy lived in Asia for many, many, many years. And so the stuff that she brings is absolutely incredible. Now, this is not compliant because we have edamame, we have maple syrup. Very often the fish sauce isn't always going to have be totally clean and without some sort of added stuff. And chili garlic sauce sometimes will have added sugar in it. But you can always adjust too. You can do snap peas instead of the edamame. You don't have to do the maple syrup if you don't want to, but it is also a really, really small amount. So I'm not usually that worried about it. Okay. And now we move into week 4, Jen's falafels. I mean, look at the way they look. Jen again is just totally bowls me over. And she likes to add hummus or tzatziki, cucumbers and tomatoes to one of her spinach wraps with these. So you can go to her spinach tortillas from earlier this month. Also, go ahead and search Apple's hummus, APOL. Apple was our helper when we lived in Singapore, and that hummus is amazing. Tzatziki, go ahead into our October recipe subscription and look at the Greek burgers by Coach Michelle K. The avocado tzatziki sauce has no dairy in it, and it is unbelievable. I literally ate it for days. I mean, I just had it with everything. So I think those are really great alternatives for that, or, side options for those. Sweet potato, broccoli, chicken bake. Coach Michelle S was added again. I mean, I would say to you, yes, this is absolutely compliant. There's some dried cranberries in there, which will have that added sugar in there. It's a really small amount. Again, it's clean. I just would leave off the Parmesan cheese. And a really great alternative for Parmesan cheese is nutritional yeast. It's a power food. It's a protein. It's a fat. It's a little bit like a nutty cheese kind of a thing. And you might not ever want to do Parmesan cheese again. If you can do a no-brainer swap like that, go for it. And then we've got our salmon and potatoes. So these are sweet potatoes. You can, because we've got the potatoes, you can do that in month 3. But you know what? There's Brussels sprouts here too. So add more Brussels sprouts if you want to. And have it in month 1. Super easy. Add a side salad and everything. It has as many veggies as you can with it. The rosemary, again, I love it. Go out and get rosemary if you don't have it, and you have multiple recipes to be able to use that in. And then we have some bonus dishes. Look at this, you guys. A no-bake vegan pumpkin cheesecake. How is it vegan and how is it no-bake? Okay, well, One of the things that's really interesting and what you can use for certain things is uh, dates. Dates have such a sweetness to it. And the cashews. I have made cashew cheese before, and it's amazing of how good it tastes. And then when you have coconut milk in the can, that's where you get your creaminess from. So I am super excited. My sister-in-law is actually gluten-free and dairy-free. So we have all the abilities here to be able to serve her and make sure that she is getting what she needs. Now, it's not compliant because it's higher in sugar because of the dates and because of the honey. But you guys, I mean, this is a Thanksgiving option for you. But we also know, look at the balance. It's got 12 grams of fat and 21 grams of carbs. So this is beyond anything that you would have in a regular quote unquote cheesecake. So go for it. I love it. And then Jen again is just like, she's just like hitting all the, I mean, she's got so many points. It's amazing. But a chicken pot pie cornbread muffin, I mean, what? This is like a side for turkey day. You could put chicken or turkey in it, and these cornbread muffins. I mean, this is like an amazing side dish. And look at this, 20 grams of carbs, 3 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein. Like, what a fun carb that I guarantee you could bring to your Thanksgiving meal and know that you got a little bit of protein in there and it's something totally different. Jen is incredible. All right, so I leave you here with remembering. Here we go again.
Mise en place.
Mise en place. I still can't remember. I can speak Spanish, but I cannot speak French. Well, here we go. The bad news is time flies, you guys. But like Michael Altschuler said, the good news is you're the pilot. And so you are in control of how you use your time and how you appreciate the bit of it that we get on this life. So by looking at
Mise en place.
as a strategy for your recipes and for organizing your life, I hope that today's little tutorial was helpful. I want to know in the comments, what are you most excited about trying? And then what is at least one thing you're going to do to establish
Mise en place.
in your life? Okay, you guys, it was awesome. Let me know what you're thinking. Bye.